We are talking about Colosseo. This map is very dive oriented. But it's not even really dive oriented, it's more so just very strong for ball. So when playing this map, for you guys especially, just considering what Jesse plays, I wouldn't suggest picking this map unless ball ban or unless ball has already been banned, really. And I would highly encourage picking this map if ball and tracer have both already been banned, because then you could do either a support protect ban on the Wu Yang or a DPS protect ban on the Genji, and then just kind of run them over because I'm very confident in you guys in that like really heavy Kiri Lucio ball tracer Genji dive. Very confident in you guys. It seems to be one of your better comps. But anyways, so let's first talk about rollouts. So when you walk out on this map, let me get my pen, the Cadril pen. Most people, you kind of just want to path this way. Just kind of walk to main, like take your fight. But depending on who you are, like I want to see like my supports, like my Wei and Kiri standing more like back here because you both have really strong projectiles with the 0 fall off, and I want to see my DPS kind of walking up a little more, maybe like outside and playing where the glass used to be, right? So like you kind of post up over here, and really your goal as a DPS player in this first fight is to set up to play off your ball slam, right? Hopefully by the time of our first match, our comms will be a little better, and we'll be like, okay, hello, it's me, Mr. DPS player. I'm ready to dive. I'm ready. I'm in position. I'm ready whenever. Some shit like that. Some kind words where you tell your tank, I'm ready to engage. Hopefully, by the time of our first match, my supports will begin calming when they land their shots. That is something I haven't really talked to you guys about, but when we're playing a dive, like a Wei Yang Kiri, um, we need to call when we tag somebody, right? Like my Wei Yang especially, I need you to, when you hit a squishy with an empowered shot, you need to comment because that is the dive target almost immediately. Like as soon as you do that 100 damage, right? It goes meow right here. My my ball is coming in from behind, which I'll get to in a second, right? My Genji Tracer are coming in from here, and hopefully my Kiri is also shooting, right? So as soon as that shot hits, or if the Kiri shot hits, that's kind of when I want the dive to kick off. Like, um, so to roll off at that point, I'm gonna talk about the tank rollout real quickly. This is a ball specific thing, so this is just for when you play ball. You come through the other door. Whoops, I don't have my pen. Come through the other door here, go through this, and then you grapple, retract up top here, right? And then you just kind of want to wait, right? You hide. You don't let anyone know you're here. You hide. You sit back here and you scout. You find a target. You say, hey Wu Yang, try and hit their Ana, or hey Wu Yang, try and hit their Mercy. And then as soon as that shot lands, you go. Obviously, you can't wait all day, right? Like if somebody steps like a little far back and they're a little like out of position, like say like there's 4 people here and one person that's like back here. Before, by the way, very important, before you commit to this, when you see this as the tank player, right? You're sitting like a little bit back here, like you are here, right? And you notice like this person backs up, right? And they're now alone. This is big. Somebody being isolated, right? But your Genji Tracer or the rest of your team that's ready for you for the dive is back here. You need to calm, push up on X, they're backed up, right? You need to calm that, be like push, 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 push. So then your team has time to rotate. And then after you calm that, then you go, right? And by the time you've come here for the slam, your team is now already rotated and they're ready to punish immediately. So there's no chance to give these people time to react, right? This won't happen, and then you will get the kill, right? So kind of just like the importance of communication, right? Don't engage early or alone. Are the two big things. But really, like, if each of you have to focus on one thing, and this kind of applies to most maps and most games, I want to see you guys. I want to see my supports when we're playing Wii and Kiri playing back and together. Like I want you guys to, like, in a fight where when the fight is happening like all the way down here, I want you guys like here or like here or here, like playing this natural cover, or you can play like in this room over here. But I want my wing especially to be kind of far back, just because you have the ability to, and there's no reason to put yourself in danger, right? All of your DPS, like, unless they feed and die, which is gonna happen, right? Shit happens, right? We all feed and die sometimes, right? But like, assuming they don't feed and die, your Tracer has E. She can just fucking recall her way out of there. Genji has deflect. He can reflect whatever. Ball can press E and then have fucking 1200 health. Right? So don't get too hung up on healing. Like, especially in a dive comp, I really want to see you guys get like your kills and your damage up. I want you guys to be like a part of the fight in more than just like a healing way. Right? You're a support, you're not a healer. Right? You do a lot of damage, especially Kiriko and Weeing. So just things to think about. But now let's move on to second fight. As you're pushing this, right, like you're coming up on the bot. A lot of teams very aggressively try to not let this checkpoint be taken. And I just want you guys to know it's okay to give the checkpoint. I mean, it sucks. Losing checkpoint early is really bad, but it's okay to give the checkpoint and not stagger yourself. Like, I mean, there's a time and a place for a touch, but if you're one person, your whole team's respawning, right? They're all back here, and they have 5 on the bot. Don't just kill yourself in touch, because realistically, you're not going to stall long enough for everyone to get back. Like, I mean, maybe there's like a situation where like they have no hard CC, and you're playing ball, and shit is chill. And you can just like post up on cart with your 1200 health, and you can roll in a circle, and then your team comes back and you have ults, right? Like, there are situations where you can fight this, but staggering yourself is bad, right? And I mean, when they cap the bot, you immediately respawn, which is really the only reason. This is like not an awful idea to play it, but you're also just giving them free meters if you're running it down by yourself 1v5. So kind of, I just want you guys to think about like when to take this fight with the bot, right? I'll draw the little bot. It's funny. Anyways, I want you guys to recognize. Damn, shit was so funny. I'm dying. I want you guys to just be able to recognize the situation you're in, right? Like, if you're coming into this fight and you're alone and everyone's here and you've no ults and you've no love and no sauce, you should not run it down, right? Do not run it down with no love, right? Only run it down. I'm getting rid of the robot. Only run it down when you either have a reason to, right? When you have a reason to, or there's like a fight to be had, right? Like, if your team's like here and you're like here and you're like, all right, I can touch, that's reasonable, right? Like, I can understand like a contest so that your whole team can get back and you can take a 5v5, right? Or say like your ball comes back with mines in like 2 seconds, you're a tracer and you want to touch and like stall for mines, that's fine, right? But just thinking of the situation, you know, trying to understand stuff. And it's also a map knowledge thing. Like, say like you have like you're trying to buy time for like a flank for a Cassidy to come back here in high noon, right? It's perfectly reasonable to like feed for a bit and kind of just like sit on point and try not to die for as long as you can to set up this flank. Like, if that's your plan. You know what I mean? I also want you guys to remember, like, it's important to stick to whatever plan you guys make. And, you know, like, you'll make these on the fly, and some of them will be bad. Some of the plans you guys are gonna make are gonna be shitty, and that's okay. And I just want you guys to listen to your IGL, is really the idea. Like, I mean, there are gonna be disagreements, and there's gonna be better ideas. Whoever is IGL is gonna make mistakes. They're gonna say the wrong thing sometimes. But I would much rather you guys fight as 5 than split over a disagreement. You know what I mean? You're a team. You need to fight as a team, and you need to trust whoever you guys decide needs to be IGL. And I mean, if it's a little split the first week, first 2 weeks, I mean, I get it. You know, new team, new people. It can be hard to get used to a new environment, but I think you guys can, and I'm pulling for yous. And I will. I mean, I'll be there. I'll be there for all your matches, as many as I can be, and I will happily help if you guys think you need it. But I think you guys are more than capable of coming up with your own ideas, getting a little creative, doing a little feeding. You know, we like to have fun. And I also want you guys to remember this is a game. The idea is to win, but it is this is something you guys love and something you guys enjoy and have fun with. I don't want you guys to lose having fun, because Overwatch, when it's not fun, is miserable, right? So, anyways, tangent over. Taking this last fight again, like, I mean, it's really similar to most of the other stuff we've talked about. You know, like, if the bot is like back here, right? I want to see most of my team up here, right? Like on this corner, on this choke, or even like if you just got a pick and there's like 3 or 4 people like running back, I want to see you guys pushing this and looking for more kills. Like, I can't tell you how many Colosseo games I've won by like spawn holding. Like, I literally, like, I'll be on ball and I'll just fucking slingshot myself to the front door and then just leave the mines like over here, right? And this like, just like committing an ult into their spawn is not bad at all, especially in a situation like this where you're really close to ending. Like, I don't hate it. So just again, this kind of loops back into the other stuff we've talked about before, where, like, you know, don't be scared to use ults, and don't be afraid to waste your ults, because unless you press Q and spawn, I don't think any ult is a waste, especially to secure a fight or to buy time. So, you know, especially because ults are kind of just like an ability 4 or an ability 3. So, you know, don't excuse me. Don't feel too bad just ripping them in spawn, especially because Colosseo and push in general as a game mode can be very momentum based. So doing what you can to preserve that momentum is very important. All right, that's really all I have for Colosseo. I mean, otherwise, like, the rest is just kind of general push knowledge. Like, you know, don't stagger. Especially when you're on ball, something I like to do is, if you just lost a fight but you have forward spawn, you can sit like here and kind of stall the bot, and then once they see you, you can grab here and then spin around, and you can stall the bot for forward spawn so that your whole team gets it. But other than that, like simple stuff like that, I mean, really it's just map knowledge. This map is very long sightline, so you're going to see a lot of Widow players. So I want my support players especially, make sure you're jiggling before you swing this first fight, because I don't want you to get your head taken off and then lose first fight because you didn't think about it. But also, your ball should be scouting, so you should know if they have a Widow. And if they have a Widow, don't peek. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but for some reason, I feel it in my gut that I need to. So don't peek a Widow, or you're getting benched. Really, that's kind of all I have to say. Again, push is a really simple game mode, very momentum based, very map knowledge based. Just know where you are, know what you're doing. Make sure everything you do has a purpose. You know, have a plan, have a reason, and let's move on to the next map. This is Esperanza. How cool is that? So I really don't have a whole lot new to say, because again, pretty much every push map is very similar. I mean, we can still recognize our lanes even if they're a little different. 1, 2, 3, right? Like, we still recognize all of our lanes, but this is a very three-dimensional map in the same way Gibraltar is, where there's a lot of high grounds that are really important. Like, this game is usually decided, like this first fight especially, by like who can take control of like their bridge, right? Like, your goal, usually you're gonna play either like a Zarya Reaper here, depending on what the bans are. You're gonna want to look to play a Zarya Reaper, or you're gonna want to look to play like Monkey or Diva, cut a ball or dive. Sorry, fucking Freudian slip there. Hamsters, obviously, I'm always gonna say play ball. I'm super biased, but you know, as a team, like, I mean, Akira Lucio here is very good. I I don't think we're going to walk out week 1 playing Lucio, just because I don't think we have the playtime on it to really be comfortable there, but that's obviously up to you guys if we think we can get it done. I mean, I have all the faith in the world in you guys. I think you're all great players. I think you all are smart enough and good enough to understand what needs to be done and how to do it. Right? So just really like compositionally, I know Venture is very commonly played on this map. Symmetra is very commonly played on this map. You see a lot of Sojourn, just really a lot of long sight lines, but there's also a lot of closer angles. So like Cass is more playable. Tracer is very common on this map, DPS wise at least. I mean supports you see a lot of obviously Kiri Lucio. With a Kiri ban you'll see maybe like a greedy like Ana Juno or a Brig Juno kind of backline. But there's plenty options abound really on this map. I mean you could take the Ramatra brawl. I mean Ramatra will pretty much always be good on push because you can hold right click and live forever. So you know if you're ever struggling, that's always a decent option. But let's talk about how to take this first fight. That's really the most complicated part of playing most push maps is their first fight. So when you look at this, right, I mean, you can see, we'll just look at it from one half, right? The idea is you want to come in. Whoops, didn't get my pen. You want to come in, and usually you want to fight for this side, right? This is where most people take, just because this gives access to high ground. And if you get the enemy team's high ground, that shit is free. Really, like, the goal of taking this, remember, right? What are you doing? Where are you going? Why are you doing it, right? What are you doing? Pushing forward. Where are you pushing? Towards their enemy high ground. Why? To give my hit scan player a flank high ground angle to get free kills, right? Remember, what, where, why. The 3 W's, if you will. Right, I just want you guys to remember, everything you do has a purpose. I want you to understand the purpose so you can think about it and do it constantly. You can repeat it. If you do something purposefully, you can repeat it, and that's good. Right, so that's why most people take this fight. If they want to force bot immediately, let them. Take this rotate. Take this rotate as 5 and just fucking blast them from above. Do not let people take a bad first angle and live for it. Right, and I mean, realistically, once you get up here, you're probably gonna leave like your hit scan and then one of your supports here, right? And they'll leave us too, and then you'll usually move in with, I mean, your Diva or your Monkey or your Zarya, and then whichever one of your supports has speed, and your other DPS will kind of just run it down and into this side room here. Here, I'll go over. In case you're not super familiar with the map, you'll leave 2 here, and then the other 3 will usually drop, clear the side room, and then force anybody in here into this DPS's POV, right? Because if we go on this bridge, we can see the majority of things, but anybody hiding in here we can't see, right? And anybody behind here we can't see, right? We have eyes. We can understand this, which is why the 3 with the speed will take this rotate and clear this, which forces them into your hit scan's line of sight and forces them to take a shot, which is usually bad. Even if you don't hit it, like, you just want to put yourself in the position to win fights, right? Another way you can fight this is you walk out super wide. It's not really very recommended. This is normally an angle like a Tracer, like a Sojourn would take alone, and this is how you would force to take this high ground, right? Like, your goal when fighting first fight Esperanza is to take the enemy's high ground, right? Like, if you spawn over here, this is your goal as a DPS player, right? Especially as a hit scan player. But, like, you know, a Tracer will come up here and clear this, or, like, a Soj will come up here and clear this. And this is just putting pressure because normally the enemy team will stand on their own high ground, right? Because high ground is good, right? We all like high ground. High ground is our friend. So taking the enemy's high ground and keeping ours, good times, right? But don't fall into the trap of fighting on the bot immediately, because this is bad. Like, taking this fight, not good. because you put yourself obviously just kind of you're doing nothing. Like you know like what are you doing and where are you going, but there is no why because there's nothing to do. The bot doesn't unlock for another 30 seconds. Like you're just kind of standing here for like maybe 2 meters in the next minute while the enemy team is rotating behind you and giving you fucking violent bag shots. Bad times. So make sure we're taking the right rotate, right? You know, understand what we're doing, why we're doing it. Like this is like I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's important. It's important to know why you're doing stuff because then you can replicate it, and then I don't have to tell you to do it, and then you become better Overwatch players, and then I get paid. Potentially, maybe. I don't know. If you guys win finals, I might get like a sandwich. Anyways, this next fight, I still think your hit scan player and one of your supports, or at the very least your hit scan player, should stay up here. This high ground is still very good up until you capture this point, right? However, if you're feeling a little spicy, and I mean realistically you should do this no matter what, but if you have a lot of space and you just wiped 5, I don't hate your tank coming up here and playing with your hit scan player, like your D.Va or your Winston sitting here, and then you two just kind of like holding this high ground down, because this is the new oppressive high ground for like in between fights, kind of. So again, this is really just common stuff like looking to take space pre-fight, you know, not wasting any time, being proactive, because anytime you spend sitting still doing nothing is wasted time. Like every second you are out of a fight, you should be talking about what you're doing next fight or setting up for next fight. Right there, you should never just be like hanging out and doing nothing, because there's almost no real downtime in Overwatch. There's always something to do, especially in team play. So just you know, stuff to think about. Take space. This is stuff. If you've watched the other videos, I mean, we've talked about this several times. You know, take space, win fights, more or less. Coming into this third fight, really, you're just again, or actually, wait. I would like to review a concept from before, because this just reminded me of the video I watched. Remember what we said? This is the corner. Front line. Back line. Front line. Wrong color. Front line. Trade. Now, our back line on defense, if we just lost first fight. Where should we stand, guys? Put your answers in the comments. Not really, I don't want to read them. Back here. Or over here. Or maybe even here. Or over here on this little spot right here. Oh my goodness. Isn't that crazy? Right? And now, they can't trade. Right? And if their backline is standing on the point, that's a free pick. Oh, wait, wrong color. That's a pick right there. And what do we all know? What do we all know, guys? 5 is greater than 4. Revolutionary concept. Anyways, this is why normally you only have one person pushing the bot, right? And you'll have your hit scan player up here. You'll have your flex support usually back here, right? And then your main support will be up here, and then your tank will be on point or on high ground. And these are interchangeable, right? Your flex damage and your tank will either be on high ground or on point, respectively. I'd much prefer my tracer on point here, to be honest, because there's not really a fight for you to be setting up for yet. Obviously, when they engage, you will switch, and then you will set up for your engage. But anyways, that is something I can go more in depth in if any of my tracer players out there would like to talk about that. Kind of what your job is in a payload escort push kind of vibe. You know, I think I've said this before. Tracer is the one touching cart, usually always, because you have the abilities to do so. I'm not going to get into that because it's a whole conversation, but If that doesn't make sense and you play Tracer, you know, maybe, a DPS player that plays Tracer and flies planes. If that doesn't make sense, please talk to me, because that's a very basic concept for playing Tracer, and you kind of need to know that. So, tap in, por favor. But anyways, sorry, I got distracted. Taking this last fight, these high grounds can be annoying, so we want to make sure we're clearing these windows by going in the building and up the stairs. Obviously, you don't want to send everybody here. This is kind of like a Tracer or like a Sojourn's job to just kind of like path through here, or a Genji, depending on what we're playing. Path through here, clear this side, and then, if there's someone in this building, you do the same thing. Wow, that's crazy. Oh my god, guys, look. It's another corner. Do we remember how to play Overwatch? Front line, wrong color, front line, back line, back line. Who wins this fight? Meow. Isn't that crazy? Anyways, again, if you guys were defending here, I would want to see you guys back here. Front line is here, or even just here, like playing this corner. Natural cover. Holy shit! If you guys play natural cover perfectly in all your games, I don't think you'll lose. Because I really don't. I don't think you'll lose. So remember, take as little damage as you can. Expose yourself to as little as you can. Don't swing too wide, and you should be okay. Again, push is a very simple game mode, very momentum based. Don't be afraid to use your ults. The things from Colosseo also apply to this map. Pushing into their spawn is good, especially this spawn door. Very minesable, very pulse bombable, very Blade the front doorable, very Kitsune the doorable. Honestly, if you guys play this map and you get to... Hold on, let me lock in real quick. If you guys play this map and you get to this corner and the bot is here, right? Let me draw this little freak again. Right? The bot is here. I want to see my ball or my diva or my monkey, whatever you're playing, my Zarya. I want to see you run it down. I want to see my Kiri TP in. I want to see 2 of my DPS come in. I want to see my Wu Yang or whatever you're playing stay on cart, support from a distance. I want to see you guys run it down, touch the spawn door, rip Kitsune, and just fucking emote in their face, bro. Just run that shit down. Do not actually emote in their spawn, because then that makes me look like a bad person. We are big on sportsmanship. It's kind of our whole thing. But literally, I want to see you guys. If you're here and the bot is right here, I want you guys to be ulting in their spawn. Dump everything. Do not even let them touch that, John. You should be letting your main support emote on point and like take a sip of the sugar-free Red Bulls they keep in that fridge, like doing nothing. Don't literally do nothing. But really, this is just kind of to get the point across. Using ults in their spawn door is good, especially in last fight. If you can end the game, end the game. You do not want to let them get any momentum in the other direction, because that's bad. Because again, push, very momentum based, which kind of just makes it very flippable, right? If you can win, if you're down, and remember, if you're down in a push game, don't be afraid to dump ults to get momentum, right? Because taking an ult fight and winning means you're going in the next fight, you're down ults, and you guys know how to play when you're down ults, right? And you have the momentum. Very momentum-based game mode. Very simple. That's all I really have to say. Any questions? Let me know. Push is easy.